Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be sharing with you a set of formations and tactics that managed to get us 30 win streak in a row before we took a loss. Now that win streak was including rivals, champs and champs qualifiers, so some serious competition. So this formation works really well for players in all divisions and we recommend trying it out. So in order for us to keep producing videos like this, then we do need your support. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you turn on the notifications bell so that you know exactly when new content is released. So moving on to said formation, it is the 5-2-1-2, and we fell in love with this formation last year in FIFA and we really carried that over into this FIFA, and we just love this formation. Now a lot of people instantly see a back five and think, oh, it's something defensive, it's just going to be sitting in deep and counter-attacking, but actually in every single game bar a couple we played, we was around 60 to 65% possession, 92 to 95% pass accuracy. We just dominated games with just squeezing people, playing up the top, playing attacking, playing aggressive, getting the fullbacks forwards. It was just such a fun formation and certainly some of the most fun that we've had in this game so far. So without further ado, going into the tactics. Now there's a lot here, so we're going to break it down. Moving into the defensive style, we chose balance. Now a lot of people we've came up against recently have been playing on a press, and that doesn't really work for our playstyle. And that's another thing that's really important to mention. Your playstyle in this formation really does have to suit this formation. It is to have that high possession and that really being careful in certain situations. So we chose balance because we didn't want to yank defenders out of position. If you're someone who isn't very confident defensively, we don't want you to just play on a press and just have players all over the place. You've got to be a good player to make press work. So we're going to keep it on balance. Defensive width, we have stayed on 45. Now, I think you can go anywhere from 45 to 55. Anywhere a bit above or below that is a little bit too narrow. So if you go for like 35, it's just too easy on the wings. And if you go too high, it just leaves a little bit too much space for people to play through. So anywhere from 45 to 55 is good. We personally prefer to play a little bit narrower. In terms of the depth, we've gone for 60. Now, again, anything from about 55 to 65. We chose 60 as the sweet spot. We found 65 just in certain occasions, especially when the fullbacks got forward and, you know, that transition sometimes when you lost possession, it was a little bit too over the top. So 60 was that good number. But if you dominate possession, you have a high pass accuracy, you don't really turn the ball over too much. Doesn't really matter too much on your depth. You know, if you've got more of the possession, it means your opponent has less chances. So it's not super relevant. Build-up play, we chose and just left it on balance. Now, the only other one we would recommend is slow build-up. Now, we chose balance because we just found slow build-up, especially with some players that you play against, they can sit in, and you do need to move the ball around quickly. So we didn't think slow build-up was super useful. But what's really important with this formation, as we mentioned before, and we're going to go into the direct passing, which we chose for chance creation, is when you get into the final third, you have to play quick. You have to move the ball fast. But you've got to be really careful because when your fullbacks get forward, and we do use our fullbacks a lot in this formation, those wingbacks, they really provide the width in this formation. When you play the ball to them, you've got to be confident. You can't afford to play a lazy pass, you know, play a silly ball, try and force one up to your strikers and then lose possession. Because when your fullbacks are out of position, you do get exposed. So that's why we really trying to drill home that you've got to have good pass accuracy, good possession. You've got to be good at retaining the ball. You've got to not force things. And if you can do that, you have incredible success with this formation. And then the last real important point we've got is the offensive width. We've gone for 75, and that is because we do want the fullbacks to stay wide. And that's really important because when the fullbacks are wide, your opponent has to come out and press you. Otherwise, you can just run up the wing, cross the ball, get to the byline, look for cutbacks. So they have to come out and press you. When they come out and press you, pass the ball inside. Now they've got to play out of position. Now you play quick. Now with that direct passing, you really force it in there. You exploit that space that they've pulled a player out, and that's where playing quick is really important. The only downside to playing a little bit wider is sometimes you are a little bit easy to play through, especially in that midfield because everyone's a little bit wider. So there's a little bit more space in between your players. So it's a little bit harder to intercept passing lanes. That's the only thing that is a little bit tricky, but we think it's definitely worth the risk. Slight little downside, but massive upside. And then players in the box, we stayed on 5, corners for 3, because you want to mix up going short and sometimes whipping it in, although they have nerfed corners, so it might be better to just have this on 1. So now before we continue, if you want us to make more videos like this, then make sure you hit the thumbs up button and make sure you comment below right now with your questions and thoughts on what other formation videos you want us to cover going forwards. So let's jump into these instructions. Now, when it comes to instructions, of course, goalkeeper is going to be on comes to crosses and sweep keeper, pretty much a standard for all of us. Although this doesn't really seem to matter too much because goalkeepers at the moment do seem to be pretty useless. Now, moving into the centre backs, we've got Valverde, Militao, and Varane. Now, what's important is your slowest centre back needs to go in the middle. And obviously, we have Valverde, and there's not really a centre back. We actually sub him off and bring someone else in. But your slowest centre back needs to go in the middle just to protect him. And also, we have them all on conservative interceptions, and that's because we only have 3 players back. When the fullbacks get forwards, you know, Llorente and Mendy get forwards, we only have those 3 back. So we really don't want the AI making like lunging interceptions when it's just not necessary, you know. So we need those guys on conservative just so they can drop off, allow players to get back into position. So it's really important. If you're someone who struggles, especially defensively, it's a really good thing to use. Then moving into Mendy and Llorente, the wing backs, we've got them on join the attack and overlap. Now, join the attack is really important. It might seem really attacking. The problem is when you use them on balance, they don't really go past the halfway line. So they're not really useful. They're kind of a little bit out of position because they're a bit high up the field. But they're not. You don't see the benefit of them offensively. So you either have to be stay back or join the attack, we feel. And we like join the attack. We just like to play with that. And it just works so well. They provide that width up front. They link up so well with the guys up front. And width is super important if you want to be a good attacker as well. You know, you combine width with speed and skill, and you are pretty deadly to stop. Now moving into the 2 midfielders, we've got Sane and Goretzka. Now Sane's not ideal for that midfield slot, but we do wiggle things around when we actually play him. But what's important is these guys are on stay back, stay on edge of the box, and cover centre. The cover centre is pretty self-explanatory. It's more important to cover the middle of the pitch. And the stay on edge of the box and stay back is because these guys are more of a pivot. They're more sort of like pivot midfielders. They don't really get forwards in attack. We use them more to just kind of like tick the play over. So they just pick up the ball from the centre backs. They ping it out wide, they give it to the guys further forwards, and those guys do the attacking. So these guys are there as just sort of pivots. They really just, you know, sustain attacks. That's their job. Their job is to just sort of recycle the ball, break up play, not really get involved offensively. Then when you are moving into the cam, we've got him on get into the box for crosses. His job is pretty much just to score goals and create, which is very much the same job that the 2 strikers have. But his job is just to sort of create goals. It's just, again, to get the ball off the, you know, Goretzka, get the ball off Sane, the 2 centre midfielders. And again, spray it out wide. Look for sort of, if Mendy's making a run in behind, he needs to play that through ball. So you want someone who's got good creativity. You don't need pace, because this player doesn't actually run in behind too much, but he's got to have really good passing, and we'd recommend sort of a high, you know, 4-star minimum weak foot, but sort of the passing range is super important in this position. And then the 2 boys up top, both on stay central and getting behind. The getting behind is pretty self-explanatory. You know, it links up with the direct passing. The stay central is more important because the width is provided from Mendy and Llorente, so they don't need to drift wide. These guys just need to stay in between the sticks, just ready for any cutbacks, any crosses, any through balls, anything that comes behind. They just need to stay. And the closer they are together, the better they link up. So it also gives you that opportunity against people that are quite aggressive. You can play quick little 1-2s between Dembele, between Ben Yedder and Lewandowski, whoever it may be. Quick little 1-2s, little dinks in behind. Those sort of quick little touches around the box are super important, and they work so well in this formation. One last important tip for this formation, because this is quite an aggressive formation and you're playing on the front foot with the direct passing, you do need to have players that have got good stamina, because the stamina does get drained quite a lot. So you need to have guys that have good stamina, or you need to have subs. You will utilize your sub bench quite a lot in this formation, so it's really important you have good subs as well. But that is it for this video. Now, we absolutely love this formation. As you can tell, we're hyped about this formation, and we're going to take this into Weekend League. We've had so much fun with this formation the last 2 weeks, and we're just going to carry on going with it in Weekend League. It's just such a blast. It's so fun. It's just a bit different, and we recommend it. It's something that you should try. You know, at least give it a try, and if you have any questions, then you can let us know down in the comment section. And as we said earlier in the video, if you want us to continue to make more videos like this one, then we do need your support. So make sure that you smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on that notifications bell. And as we said before, if you do have any questions, make sure you join our Discord, which is in the description, or ask us any comments down in the comments section down below. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.